This next post is by Small Raspberry 6561. Am I the butthole for making my son clean up after his sister in the bathroom? I'm a 40-year-old woman and I have 2 children, a 12-year-old boy named Dax and a 14-year-old girl named Mia. My kids don't get along very well. Dax thinks his quote pranks are really funny, and I guess that's like every other 12-year-old boy, and he annoys Mia with them a lot. It's something that my husband and I have been working on, as it's a source of many fights between them. Dax gets a lot of his prank ideas from YouTube and TikTok and will often recreate what he sees. Most of these are harmless, like putting a fake spider in her food, but this time I think he went too far. Dax thought it would be funny to put saran wrap over the toilet before my daughter went to the bathroom. He says that he got the idea from online? I don't know if this is a thing, but it's a terrible prank. Basically, he put plastic wrap under the toilet seat, so if someone sits on it, well, pretty much it makes a mess instead of going into the bowl. Yeah, I know. Ew. So he does this right before Mia goes to the bathroom to pee. When she gets in there, she sits on the seat like normal, pees, and since there's a plastic wrap over the hole, her pee collects on it and it gets everywhere. All around the ground, on the toilet, and on her. She comes to me crying. She's embarrassed because she's a teenage girl, and this is, well, disgusting. I told Mia to take a shower and to not worry about the mess. Here's where I might be the butthole. I go to my son and yell at him for what he did. I tell him that that's not an appropriate prank and he's old enough to know that that's not okay, and then I made him clean it up. He started crying and saying that it's unfair that I made him clean up his sister's pee. It's gross and he's gonna be sick, he says. It's from her body, so she should clean it. But it was all his fault, and literally his mess to deal with. I don't know why I should humiliate my daughter further, or why I should have to clean it. And biggest thing, he needs to learn. I told him that the mess was his fault, and he should think about the repercussions of his actions next time, because this is what his prank caused. And then I stood in the doorway and watched as I made him clean all of the urine off of the floor and toilet. I think it was an appropriate punishment, considering that it's really just a natural consequence of what he did. And it doubles down as a general lesson in how to clean the toilet, which he has to learn at some point anyway. Well, my husband disagrees. This all happened while he was at work, and after he got home, Dax complained to him. He told me that I was overly harsh on our son and that he was put in danger by exposing him to germs. But I gave him the same gloves that I use when I have to wash the toilet, and it's not like he was unsupervised. But my husband is mad at me and told me that I went too far, and that it's bad parenting. Of course my son is mad at me too, but my daughter's on my side. Am I the butthole? Am I a bad mom? I don't think you're a butthole or a bad mom, OP. That kid has to learn the consequences of his actions. If he doesn't want to clean up pee, then he shouldn't have pulled such a disgusting prank on his sister. Also, I don't understand your husband's logic at all. Does he think that he's gonna get some kind of disease from touching the pee? How else does he expect the pee to be cleaned up? Does he expect you to clean it up? Is he gonna clean up his son's pee? Anyways, OP, I don't think you're the butthole here. If anything, your husband's the butthole. He basically wants to let his son get away with this disgusting prank without any repercussions, and leave the cleanup all to you. I don't know, sounds a little sexist to me. This next post is by trashgirlfriend. Will I be the butthole if I go on vacation instead of my brother's wedding? My brother Tom and I have never had a really solid relationship. Due to our 10-year age gap, we didn't spend much time together, and by the time I was old enough to develop a personality, he was already moved out of the house. So for the last 2 years, my brother and his fiancée Sarah have been planning their wedding, which is coming up in September. I was asked to be a bridesmaid, but I figured I was only asked as a courtesy since I'm her soon-to-be sister-in-law, but I still took it seriously. I have been a bridesmaid for this wedding for the past 2 years, and just a few weeks ago, I managed to save up to buy the $800 bridesmaid's dress. Overall, in the last 2 years, between group outings to parties, dinners, lunches, clothes, etc., I spent thousands of dollars. Eventually, all of the girls in the wedding and I became extremely close, and I started to get hyped for the wedding. Sarah recently got close with her brother's wife, Becky, and last week she dropped the ball on me that she no longer wants me to be her bridesmaid, and she would prefer if Becky would take my place. It honestly broke my heart a little bit, but it's her wedding, and it's not my place to tell her how to run it, so I said it was fine. Yesterday, I went to my brother's house to pick up the bridesmaid's dress and was going to see if I could return it since it was within the time frame. Sarah was completely appalled and said that Becky was going to wear it since she and I are the same size. I said that that would be fine, but they would have to pay me the $800 for it. Sarah said that Becky couldn't afford it, and I should just be nice and let her use it, and said that I could keep it after the wedding. I explained to her that I'm not just going to give away the dress, and I'm not going to use it after the wedding. After some bickering back and forth, I ended up just taking the dress and leaving. My brother and Sarah tried to compromise with me and said that I could be the assistant flower girl, and I felt offended at that offer. After I said no, they then said that Becky could give me $250 for it. Again, I said no, and I returned the dress and got a full refund. I told them that I understand that it's their wedding, but they're being extremely disrespectful to me, and I don't need to deal with that, and that I'm not going to go to their wedding. Today my coworker says that she has an extra round-trip plane ticket to go to Miami and that she'll sell it to me for half price. Plus I would have to pay for the half of the hotel and I could go hang out with her in Florida. The only downside is that I'll be in Florida for the week of my brother's wedding. So will I be the butthole if I go party in Miami instead of going to my brother's wedding? Update. So unfortunately, since Reddit is awful at keeping secrets, Becky saw this post on TikTok. So she obviously let the cat out of the bag. My whole family is split on what I should do, but after a heated argument, it was mutually agreed that I will not be attending the wedding. My brother and my future sister-in-law cannot seem to comprehend how this is not about the dress, but how they treated me. For those wondering what our parents have to say, our mother says, "If you're gonna be a butthole, don't be upset when someone's a butthole back." My dad says, because he's long dead. My brother and my future sister-in-law think that I'm a butthole, but the way that my mom paid for the hotel trip, I think it's safe to assume that she's on my side. I appreciate all of the love and support that I got. I will have an amazing time in Miami, and I won't feel the slightest bit guilty thanks to all of the overwhelmingly positive responses I got on here. Thanks you all. OP, I definitely think that you're in the right here for not going to the wedding. I mean, they want you to give away an $800 bridesmaid's dress for free, and they're gonna make it up to you by letting you be the assistant flower girl? I mean, what? Isn't the job of a flower girl usually done by, like, a little girl? Like 4 or 5? OP is 26 years old, and the bride wants to make up an $800 dress by letting OP be assistant flower girl? That's ridiculous. Anyways, OP, your mom's awesome for paying for that hotel room, and I hope you have a fantastic time in Miami.
That was Meme Reads. If you enjoyed this content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.